Hello, my name is Harlie, and my watershed impact assessment discussion and case study is based on the Tug Fork watershed. The Tug Fork is a tributary that is 159 miles long and comes out of the Big Sandy River. The Tug Fork is part of the watershed through the Mississippi River and the Ohio. Tug Fork can be found in southwestern Virginia, eastern Kentucky, and the lower handles of West Virginia. Being in the middle of mining country, the Tug Fork's main use is for transportation of coal. Less than 1% of the land is used for agriculture. Also, with growing popularity, new uses have been recreational, including kayaking and fishing. The counties in West Virginia that contain the Tug Fork River are Mingo, McDowell, and Wayne. As you can see here is a map of the Tug Fork River and the surrounding states of West Virginia, Kentucky, and Virginia, as well as the Lavisa Fork and Russell Fork basins that surround. Designated uses for West Virginia include public water, which is a human health category, warm water fishery, trout waters, wetlands, which are all aquatic life, water contact recreation, which is also human health, irrigation, livestock watering, wildlife, water transportation, cooling water, power production, and industrial, which are all in the all other categories. Tug Fork's main designated uses include a Category A, which is public drinking water supply, which is affected by fecal coliform, iron, and manganese. Tug Fork also has a Category C, which is a contact recreation that is affected by fecal coliform, biological aspects, and selenium. Is the Tug Fork 303 delisted? The answer is yes. Biological aspects affect the Tug Fork River from river mile 27.5 to the headwaters. Fecal coliform is by far the largest issue in the Tug Fork, and it actually affects the whole length of the river. Lastly, selenium is another big problem, and this affects a small section from river mile 143.2 to 157.1. TMDL data includes upstream and downstream monitoring through WVDEP requirements, and non-point sources far outweigh point sources for iron, aluminum, and manganese for the Tug Fork River. TMDL development uses criteria to set the limits for the TMDL using a margin of safety for every aspect of the river, which is often set at 5%. As you can see, for pH, there are no values below 6.0 or above 9.0 for all aspects of aquatic life and human health. Also, as you can see in the chart, total iron is at 1.5 milligrams per liter, while manganese is at 1.0 milligrams per liter. TMDL recommendations are set to include limits for iron, manganese, aluminum, and so far no recommendations have been set for pH. The recommendation for iron is a 0.95 milligram per liter minus a 5% margin of safety. Aluminum is 712.5 micrograms per liter, but West Virginia does not require a limit for aluminum at this time. And lastly, manganese at 0.95 milligrams per liter, minus the 5% margin of safety. The health of the Tug Fork River has been questionable for a while and is up for review from 2018 to 2020 as a new TMDL is being worked on and assessed. As you can see in the chart in the pie chart on the right, 45% of Tug Fork is impaired, while 22% is in a gray zone, and only 33% is unimpaired. The health of the Tug Fork continued. In the chart on the left, the whiskey score percentage for the Tug Fork was much more impaired than the state's average, 35% compared to 22%. In the chart on the right is a data set of percent stream miles in various fecal coliform bacteria categories. This chart is for the Tug Fork versus statewide again, and as you can see, the Tug Fork ranks lower than statewide in 3 out of the 4 categories. The Tug Fork River includes 28 NPDES permits. These are mostly general sewage permits, while there are a few stormwater and construction permits as well. NPDES permits continued. Here is a table of the NPDES permits for the Tug Fork River. The table includes contaminant sources, types of contaminants, and the monitoring requirements for each contaminant. So the first one that we have is stormwater. Contaminant sources include vehicles, while types of contaminants are sediment and fuels. The monitoring requirements are weekly inspections. Second, we have general sewage, which the contaminant sources are gray water and raw sewage. And the type of contaminant is fecal coliform, which for the Tug Fork, as I have said before, is one of the main problems. And the monitoring requirements are monthly samples. Lastly, we have stormwater construction, which the contaminant sources are storage tanks and other equipment. Types of contaminants can be chemicals and fuels, and the monitoring requirements for each contaminant are weekly inspections. Here are all of the sources for the information of the Tug Fork watershed that I have presented you with. If you would like to search farther into it, these are the main ones that I found that had the most information. All of them came from the WVDEP website. I believe that these were the most in-depth and helpful for the TMDL review. And thank you for listening.